you always remind me you're the only one who brings me peace. You're the only one who brings me peace. I'm so forgetful, but you always remind me you're the only one who brings me peace. You're the only one who brings me peace. So I come, Lord, I come, I come, Lord, I come to tell you I love you, to tell you I need you, to tell you there's no better place for me than in your arms, to tell you I'm sorry for running in circles, for placing my focus on the waves, not on your face. You're the only one who brings me peace. You're the only one who brings me peace. I'm so forgetful, but you always remind me you're the only one who brings me peace. You're the only one who brings me peace. So I come, Lord, I come, I come, Lord, I come to tell you I love you, to tell you I need you, to tell you there's no better place for me than in your arms, to tell you I'm sorry for running in circles, for placing my focus on the waves, not on your face. You're the only one who brings me peace. You're the only one who brings me peace in the storm. In the storm. I'm so forgetful, but you always remind me you're the only one who brings me peace. You're the only one who brings me peace.
Hey, good morning, Firmly Rooted family. Happy Monday morning. Here at the house, doing the devotions. I started the men's devotion, and we got that music intro, countdown. All of a sudden, 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3 seconds, and my whole computer froze. So I had to shut it off, turn it back on, and get back into it. Successfully got that devotion done, and now we're into the book of Mark chapter 10, and let's see who's on board besides me. Bert Reggiani, good morning, everyone. Vivian Davis, good morning. Becky Honstadt, good morning. Natalie, top of the morning to you. Looking forward to your message. Good to have you on board. Emily Connolly, welcome. Tell Abby happy birthday for me. I also told your hubby during the men's devotion, but don't have direct access to Abby, so please just tell her I love her and tell her happy birthday. All right. Pastor Grigsby in the morning message or in the men's message and here now is getting tight on some like parts of verses. I got one half a verse for today, and sometimes what I want you to be aware of is that if you ever go back to these devotions like later in the day, get the context. Sometimes the context helps us with the interpretation, especially what we did with the men's devotion. But today we run into a different thing that tells us why a synoptic gospel is helpful. So here's my verse for today, and you, at first you're kind of saying like, okay, like why? It says, they were on their way to Jerusalem with Jesus leading the way, and the disciples were astonished while those who followed were afraid. Astonished and afraid. Well, astonished and afraid about what? I mean, he just got done talking about children and the rich young man, how it's easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than a rich man to enter the kingdom of God. And then all of a sudden, they're on their way to Jerusalem, and the disciples are astonished, and those who followed were afraid. Where do we fit this in the context? How do we know what in the world they're astonished about and afraid about? For those of you who have read the Bible before and go, well, gosh, I just sometimes don't even know what to do with that. You look ahead. And you look ahead, and chapter 11 is the triumphal entry. 6 days before Jesus is crucified. Oh. Well, from our study of John, we remember that just before that, a week before, he had healed and raised Lazarus from the dead, and people were threatening to kill Jesus and even Lazarus. And then they went towards the Jordan River to get away from Jerusalem. And in the Gospel of John, we remember that he comes back, and the disciples say to Jesus, all right, if we're going to go back to Jerusalem, let us die with you, right? I mean, the idea was they knew the inherent threat. They knew that although Jesus was doing all these amazing things, healing people, setting people free, the religious leaders were having nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with it. They were hell-bent, and I mean that literally, to kill Jesus. Even though he did nothing but love, forgive, set free, it wasn't the kingdom that they created. The Pharisees, the scribes, and the Sadducees, they created an institution that needed to be protected over the God that the institution was created for. So basically, they created a religion that still has God's name in it. It just wasn't a true religion. So that's what they're worried about. So when you read this verse in Mark and scratch your head, sometimes knowing what's coming next and knowing what other verses in other Gospels say around this same time, you end up getting a bigger picture. And that's why when we do the study on the last week of Jesus' life, we lay all four Gospels out at the same time. We have to have the most complete, cohesive look at the last week of Jesus' life, and sometimes this is a good practice. So when in doubt, when you don't understand something, number one, come back out and look at before, look at after. Oh, triumphal entry. What do other Gospels have just before the triumphal entry? The raising of Lazarus, coming back to Bethany, the disciples afraid and worried that we're going to end up all dying with Jesus because we're getting too close to Jerusalem. That's it. All of a sudden, the verses make sense. Lesson for us? Besides just a hermeneutics class on how to interpret the Bible, the disciples sometimes never always having a full understanding, just like you and I, step into situations and they're worried. They're concerned. They just don't have enough vision. They just don't have enough vision. To me, that's comforting because I can relate to that, and I hope that they can relate to me, that you just don't see enough. But what they're going to learn when this is all said and done and they get through the death and resurrection of Jesus and they get through Pentecost, that God was in control the whole time. All those times they thought he wasn't in control, all those times that they thought that they should take matters into their own hands, none of it was necessary. The one who could calm the winds and the waves was always in control. Maybe that's something we need to hear today. No matter what's going on in your life, no matter what's going around your life, it may seem out of control. It is not to God. And God is making all things work to the good for those who love him. That God's will is being done on earth as it is in heaven. All right, those are my two things I wanted to teach you today. I don't see anybody else signed on, so let's just wish you all a blessed day. Make it a firmly rooted day, and may someone see Jesus in us today. Peace.